All right, I'd like to call the Inland Wetlands Watercourse Commission meeting to order Tuesday, March 12th, 2024, at 7:28 PM. Start with the introduction to officers to my left.
William Perfetto.
Michael McDonough.
Leslie Giovanelli.
And Jack Demerjen, Inland Wetland Administrator.
And Ronald Rotolo. Correspondence from our February 27th special meeting minutes. Did everyone have a chance to read those minutes, go through them? Once all the commissioners are set, if anybody has a motion to approve or any changes.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. I have a first. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? One abstention. Thank you. New business, officer elections. Oh, look, the room emptied out. As I stated last time, I'm willing to stay on as chairman if nobody has any objection to that, so.
Yeah, so what we could do, we could either go one by one with positions, or, Leslie, I know right now you are vice chair. If you're willing to also stick
Yeah.
with that. I don't know if any of the other two people in the room have interest in being the secretary, which is the last position. Doesn't really have too many duties other than you're reading the legal notice into the record. Or like I said, we could stick somebody else with it and then address that maybe later on. But we could do it, we could vote it in as a slate, so we only have to vote once, but I'll leave that up to you guys, so you can discuss if you have any interest in that position.
I don't, but I'd rather maybe when everybody else comes, one of the meetings, we can discuss it.
Okay, what we could do, we could always push officer elections off to the next meeting if that's what we're more comfortable with. I don't love the idea of voting somebody in a secretary without them here, and have them give confirmation. So we could push that off, until we have a more full board with us and go from them, if that's what we'd rather do.
It's up to you.
Or we could vote in the two positions we have now and then handle secretary later.
You do that, whatever you
Yeah,
want.
I think that's probably a good idea. So if someone would like to make a motion that Ron would maintain the chair position, Leslie the vice chair, and then maybe next meeting we will handle the secretary position, but we could start with that, so whoever.
Make a nomination exactly as you just said it.
Understood, yep.
First, second.
Second.
Second, Bill, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So moved.
So 4-0, we have our chair and vice chair. Now we can move on.
All right, old business, don't have anything. Enforcement officers report?
I don't have much to report, just your standard, complaint here and there that I respond to. Now with the warm weather coming, and heavy rains that we have been getting. I've been getting fairly regular calls with people that, their water levels are high. We've been having an unusual amount of high-volume rain events compared to previous years. So it's something that, I do get calls about. Not a ton of it is really, gonna require any immediate action. It's just high levels of rain that a lot of places in town are not able to handle. But something for the commission to know moving forward, that might be something that we have to address at some point. I know there are a couple areas in town where we're reviewing the capacity of, our drainage infrastructure throughout town. We are gonna have to address those as proposals come in to enlarge them and be able to handle the flooding that we've been seeing. So I would just make the commission aware that, we might see some of that down the pipeline. Other than that, I have nothing else.
Thank you. All right, for discussion, property known as 597 Stone Hill Drive, submitted by Western Ubridge, and construct a single-family home in the Upland Review area. As usual, please state your name for the record.
We got it. Okay, good evening, Commissioners. My name is Robert Weway. I'm a licensed professional engineer and principal with the firm of Codispodi Associates, and our offices are located here in Orange at 263 Boston Post Road. We're here tonight on behalf of the owner applicants, Gabrielle and Weston Ulbrich, and the piece of property is identified on your tax assessor's map number 36, Block 4, Lot 6-1. The property is also known as 597 Stone Hill Road, and it was previously approved on August 10th of 2004 as part of a two-lot subdivision for 511 Wheelers Farms Road. So that previous approval is what's up on the board here for your consideration. So the 2004 subdivision was basically a two-lot subdivision. With Grace Yankee being the owner, she still retains ownership of the larger area of the parcel. So what happened was this piece was carved off as lot number 1 in that two-lot subdivision. And as was noted, this was approved as a subdivision. And the septic testing was all done at that time, and the house location was approved to be pretty much in the central portion of the lot with driveway access out to Stone Hill Road here. Now, since that time, between 2004 and current day, we have had the wetlands reflagged and redelineated. And the new delineation has the wetlands more up in this area here, so this whole finger got kind of choked off. And again, if anybody's familiar with the area, if anybody's had the opportunity to walk the site, this whole section in through here is pretty flat. So there's not a lot of grade change in here. There's no more than 1.5 feet of grade change or so. So over that close to 20-year period of time, the wetland characteristics have changed. And when the soil scientist flagged him, who was Scott Stevens, the wetland delineation was somewhat different than it was at the time of the 2024. So that brings us to present day, and what you can see here is that the wetland flagging has changed up in this section here. So when we took a look at it, we felt that it was more appropriate to locate the house up in this section here, and I'll get into more with the alternates towards the end of the presentation to give you a little bit more in-depth analysis as to why we did it that way. So the wetlands were reflagged by Mr. Scott Stevens. He's a soil scientist in November of 2023. And the wetland soils on site consist of a combination of Ridgeberry, Lester, and Whitman soils. In addition to that, there's Lester fine sandy loams and fluvial soils that were identified in his report. The upland soils consist of Sutton fine sandy loam and a Carlton Chatfield complex, and there's some eudorthents up in the front portion of the property This area was filled at some point in time. It was filled prior to the 2004 subdivision. So this area was kind of delineated as a disturbed soil area. The proposed development will be served by an on-site septic system, private water supply, electric, and CATV services for the property. The septic system's been designed to accommodate a 4-bedroom home and was previously or recently approved by your health department. Under this proposal, there is no proposed filling of wetlands of any type. There will, however, be some work within the upland review area with the northeast corner of the house, or northwest corner of the house in this location being the closest to the wetlands at approximately 18 feet away. And the septic system will be approximately 61 feet, again, up in the north, going from the northwest corner of the leaching system to the wetland area there. Another important feature of the site is that when we take a look at the wetland delineation and we apply your 100-foot upland review area, it encompasses virtually 95% of the entire property. So you can see your upland review area is literally up to the property line here. It does cut back a little bit over here by the driveway area. So virtually any place we look at on the property, it's all within the 100-foot review area, and that is somewhat significant when we start to look at the alternatives and where we can and can't go on the property. We've also provided for stormwater management as part of the proposed development. We have a series of 3 galleries in this area located just north of the proposed garage, and those will consist of 3 concrete galleries, 4 foot wide by 8 foot long by 2 foot high, and those are used primarily for the roof drainage coming off the house. We've also included a 30-foot long by 4 foot wide by 2 foot deep stone infiltration trench, basically located immediately adjacent to the garage, and that will pick up any of the runoff that's coming off the driveway and put that into the stone reservoir system where it'll be allowed to store within the stone and then allowed to infiltrate out into the surrounding soils. Soil erosion control measures will also be implemented as part of the proposed construction, and it's pretty much your generic run-of-the-mill S&E. The site is not that unique that we need any special features. So we've included typical silt fencing along with the mud tracking pad for the front entrance, and those can be seen on sheet 2 of your submission package. So we've got silt fencing, which will basically follow the outline of the cleared area. We have the mud tracking pad up here. We have proposed stockpile for topsoil here. And we've also shown a proposed settling basin should be needed for dewatering operations when they do the foundation work for the proposed development. So now we could take a look at, when we were early on in the development, we took a look at a couple of the options that were available to us for what we could and could not do. So on this particular plan here, we've looked at basically what the original 2004 wetland approval was. And again, the house is located more in the central to northern portion of the property, along with a fairly long driveway to get access to the dwelling up in that location. And the septic system is up in this general area here. So what's being proposed today is that we've eliminated the house from this area. We kept the septic in that same general area. The septic has been reconfigured to conform with the current health code. So we were able to change the size of the galleries because, again, going back to 2004, the Mantis galleries were not available. So coming forward, there's a lot more intuitive projects that are out there that give you more bang for the buck, that they give you more effective leaching area on a per square foot basis. So we're able to put in a little bit smaller system here compared to what was on the original plan. So with this proposed plan here, again, we're taking the house and relocating it from the central portion and moving it more towards the front. Again, this is, the house is being more located in the previously disturbed soil areas. So what that will allow us to do is keep much more of this back area in its natural wooded condition. And that is somewhat significant in allowing the wetlands to remain contiguous with the lot number 2 from the previous subdivision, as well as the woodland area. So it'll provide a more contiguous area with the surrounding property. So all told, with the new delineation, if we were to keep the house in its previous location, which would again be very similar to this. So what you can see is that this represents the old delineation that has the black flagging along it, and then we've superimposed the new wetland line, which is this line right here. So what you can see is that with the new delineation, if we kept the house where it was, we would be required to fill approximately 6,100 square feet of wetland area, and there would be an additional 30,800 square feet of activity being required in the upland review area, and that's represented by this cross-hatched area here. So what you can see is that with the current plan, we have no proposed filling of wetlands again, and our work within the upland review area is approximately 18,900 square feet. So that is substantially less than what this plan represents. So, we believe that this plan to be the best solution for the proposed development of the property, and we would respectfully request the commission to grant approval for the project. And with that pretty much sums up my presentation. So if there's any commission or questions that the commission may have, we'll certainly try to answer them for the commission.
Yes, I have a question. When the wetlands were redelineated, were there any test pits done? Because I'm looking here, it just says a deep test pits.
No, the test pits that are on that sheet, those were done for the septic system. That's the deep testing for the leaching.
Okay.
Just got a quick question. This property is not being conveyed with the property to the west, right? I know this owner, or at some point I was getting calls that both of these properties were being sold together. It's just
Yeah.
597, I think it's 491, you have it marked up here. I only ask because I know I'd gotten calls from people in the past saying that, they were going to be conveyed together, but that's not the case here, just to establish it. So,
They were conveyed.
so that's fine, we just need to go up there or if Bob wants to confirm that.
Yeah, I think Weston did, you guys did purchase the other piece too, but,
Did, yeah.
but that is a separate piece from this. It was not part of this, it was not part of the subdivision. So again, when we look at that, our wetland flagging stops at this property line. But I could tell you from my experience of being out there, this wetland line continues up here, it comes up to the corner and then would hook back up with this. So the property is there, but probably close to 80 to 85% of that piece is all wet. Although we have not officially or delineated it or had it flagged. So the application does not include this piece. So the application is for the 3.01 acres, which is this piece
Understood.
right here.
Yep.
Any other commissioners have any questions? See anything else they have to ask? Or like to ask, I should say?
Hearing none, we might want to entertain a motion if somebody were to, or facilitate discussion. Bob, if we need you back, we'll call you back up here. I don't know if you guys are,
You can take a seat.
unless you get,
I have one question, and this may not be the purview of wetlands, but I'm just looking at that northeast corner that's just 18 feet from wetlands. And we've been having heavy rains, and extreme rainstorms have been happening more frequently. What's to keep the water from coming into the house?
No, I think with respect to any flooding, if you take a look at what we're doing here, there is no basement in the house. So the edge of the wetlands up and through that area is approximately elevation 110 along this line. So the finished floor is up at 118. So we're 8 feet above that.
Okay, I couldn't tell, thank you.
If there are no other questions, or if no one sees anything else, look for a motion to approve the application.
with our standard conditions, I'll just throw that in there.
You have a copy of them so we can rattle them off, or?
We could just say with our standard conditions.
Okay.
Yep.
Hang on. Make a motion to approve the application with our standard conditions.
Second.
And first and second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, so moved.
4-0.
I don't believe we have any other business.
I don't believe so. We could entertain a motion to adjourn if someone feels so inclined.
Look for a motion to adjourn if anybody wants to
Second.
so dabble in there.
Motion to adjourn.
Mike seconded.
All in favor? Thank you. We're adjourned.